let's get into what we're doing here. And then I'll tell you why I think this show is a good, not great, but good build into Lockdown. Ricky Sosa versus A. Brian Myers. Now, I did not see Impact last week. I tried to see it, but I had other stuff on my mind. So I admit I didn't get a chance to see it. But here, I still do not care about Ricky Sosa. It's not that I hate him, I just don't care about him. They still haven't given me anything more than this, and that he's going up against the system, but he still feels like he doesn't have a character at all. He's just for matches. And this entire thing wasn't even about him. It was about Heath Slater trying to get his title back from Cedric. And this is where it gets very interesting. As you guys know, when it comes to Leon Slater, the one thing he's made very clear, he emphasizes it. He doesn't want to be forgotten because of how his father acted. And that's something you don't want to see anybody think. That they have to do everything they can to be memorable because of how badly they were treated as a kid. As someone who pretty much went through something similar. Because my own biological father didn't give two damn flips about what happened to me. Even when he was still living with my mother. And let me give you an example. Don't usually give examples like this, but I think it would emphasize what it is for Heath Slater to put his record online, because I'll explain that. For me, what I used to do when I was very, very young, because we didn't really have a lot of money. When my mother ever gave me money, I would put it away. And what I decided to do every year when when her Mother's Day came around, not her birthday, her Mother's Day, I give her back the money. I told her, Happy Mother's Day, I want you to have this. That was her gift from me. I didn't have a job then when she was a little kid, of course, back in the 70s. And I used to give her back her money. She never asked me to do that, but I told her I did it because I loved her. Well, when my father, biological father, he never was a father, when he was living with us, because he was sporadic, he sometimes lived with us, sometimes he didn't, he was there during the time when I gave that money back to her. And when he saw that I gave back a substantial amount of money to her, with a card saying, Happy Mother's Day, Mom, this is for you, he waited until the next Mother's Day. And he legitimately came up to me on Mother's Day and said, like this, hand it over. And I said, what? Hand over what? Stop playing around, hand it over. I didn't know what he was talking about. Then he said, give me the money that you've been saving now. The way he was back then, he would go to he was working multiple jobs, and he would save all the money there. I don't know what he did with it. I think he sent it back to his family in Puerto Rico. But in this situation, he demanded my money, not because he wanted to give it to my mom, or wanted to say, look, I don't have any money right now, son, because as you know, I gave my money to family in Puerto Rico. Can you help me? Let's do a Mother's Day gift together. No. He just wanted the money. And I remember my mother screaming at him. And then he went away for almost a year. And that same day, after she screamed at him and kicked his ass out of the apartment again, she said, don't ever save money ever again. I know you're doing it for me, but don't. It's for you. I can understand Leon Slater's feelings about wanting to be remembered, because I'm not remembered. He doesn't give a damn flips. Even if he was alive right now, he'd be in his 90s at this point. But the point here is this. When Cedric said, you want another shot at my title, okay, lockdown. But if you win, fine. But I want something. He made it clear. You want this title? Fine. You win it, you got it. But if I win, I want your title reign, the second longest in history, expunged from the records of TNA. I want it gone. Interesting. We haven't had anyone do a record in a while. No matter if it's in AEW, WWE, or TNA. It has been a long time, as far as I remember, anyone would say, get rid of your record. I want that record gone because I want to be the next best one. I will run this. That's what he was saying. So I find this intriguing. Not saying that Leon's going to lose. I don't believe he will. I don't. But if he does, and I know you're going to say, dude, you know that Leon his contract is almost up and there's a good chance he's going to WWE or maybe AEW, but WWE because he's been there. Yeah, I know. But would they do that? Would they go that far for someone who has really worked his ass off for this company 100% while they transition to TNA from Impact? Would they really make him lose and expunge his entire record? Of course, they can bring it back later, but it's not the point. To do that for story. I'm intrigued. Next, let me say this to you. Seeing the 6-man tag with all the 4, it was alright. But seeing that Trey Miguel is back after nearly 4.5 months that he's been gone, I'm glad to see him. I'm glad his kneecap has healed because he broke that sucker. So I'm very happy to see him functioning normally and look great. But now seeing that this is about making sure that let me give it to you like this. This isn't about Trey Miguel getting a shot at the International Championship. It's about Notch. Notch is the one that this is a focus on. He came out when they were trying to hurt Trey again. Well, not hurt Trey again, but Trey get hurt. So the question is going to be, how far they're going to push this next week. Will we just get another ring segment? Another wrestling match? Or are we going to have something in the back? I'm hoping it's pre-taped. I'm hoping they have something extra to add to the story, not to the match. Not another match, not a match for Hodge, not a match for Ali, none of it. It's just going to be another thing where they both talk. And this is what they need. Next, we get to semifinals for the Knockouts TV title tournament. We get M versus Indy Hartwell. Let me give it to you like this. Do it like M. Yeah. She's pretty. She's tall. I would be like this to her because I'm like 5'8", 5'9", maybe. 5'8.5", 5'9". She like this. She pretty. Then you got Indy Hartwell, who's just as pretty. But what have you done storyline-wise for M or Indy? Now, Indy has been working with Santino, so she does have story. So I could see them letting her go forward. But then, the question of, would they really let M and Heather go up against one another? Would they let an Elegance versus an Elegance at the very end of that tournament? Would they really do that? I don't know. Well, at least I didn't know some of it until we saw the match. And of course, there was always interference, constant interference. But then M wins. They decide not to let Indy go forward. They wanted M to go forward. And I'm like, okay, there could be a couple of reasons for that. One, Indy's contract could be coming up. That's a possibility. Two, they could actually be doing what I think they're going to do, which is going to have Heather and M go up against each other and let one of them do it. And three, that's a possibility that M will not win her match. No, not M. Heather may not win her match. And then, I don't remember who she's going up against, but I don't know. There are three possibilities. The question is going to be which one. I think it's Jada Stone. Yeah, it's Heather versus Jada Stone. Would they push Jada Stone? Now, I'm going to be honest here. I still don't have it for the spark. I don't. Has she had her moment working in a few storylines? Yeah. But do I feel her yet? No. Because they emphasize way more of her wrestling ability than her character. And I'm sorry, as you guys already know, in WWE, they're barely giving you any type of story other than the bloodline and some matches. And in AEW, they give you so many matches and very little story that either makes any sense or, if it does make sense, it's so condensed down to a certain amount of time, it doesn't feel important. And then you got this here with Jada Stone kind of feeling like she's from AEW, where, yeah, she wrestles and she had a few moments, but it doesn't really feel like it's important because there's still no character development for her. The one that had more character development than her, who's now left, is Maura Sage. Maura Sage had more character development working with Ryan Nemeth and the Hardys and Elena Black than you get with Jada Stone, who worked with Ali. And it just feels like that. She's worked with Ali. She worked with Trey. She worked with Tasha Steelz. But she doesn't feel developed enough yet. There's no character. That's how it feels. Moving on. Okay. Let's talk about Harley Hudson and her vid pack. I'm going to tell you this. I really like Harley. Not just because she's a beautiful woman. I truly believe she doesn't need to have pink hair. I'm going to be honest here, guys. It's just me. I think she's Irish. I don't know. She's either Scottish or Irish. I don't remember. She's a gorgeous woman. She's a beautiful woman, but I truly believe she doesn't need to have pink or red hair. She can actually go as her own self, just a brunette. I do believe she's a brunette. And she would be opposite. She would be drop dead gorgeous no matter what she looks like. That's just me. I see real beauty more than I see beauty that is enhancement, which is makeup and everything. Now, was the vid pack good? Yeah, and it shows that they're trying to do something with her, having a match against Alicia. Because if she loses that match, there's a good chance she'll lose her job, because Daria thought that she was a weak link. Now, do I believe she's going to lose to Alicia? No. If she does lose, that could also mean that Harley is going to literally be removed. You just lost 2 women, as far as I remember. Jody Threat is gone. And now Maura Sage is gone. I do not see Harley Hudson losing. I see them actually pushing her because now they just lost 2 women. 2 women that had been in the company for a bit. And one of them, they actually were willing to pay more to keep her. And a Maura Sage. And I'm like, okay. It's generally obvious that they're going to make sure Harley's going to be put over. But the question for me is, what are they going to do with her if they do put her over? If she's not put over and she does leave the company, it's just going to hurt the company. They need women. They need more knockouts. And I don't believe she's going to go, but honestly, what are you going to do with her? That's going to be the big question. Now, since we did just talk about Lena Black, we got a little bit of Xia Brookside asking for her makeup to be done correctly by the makeup artist because she said it wasn't done right, and closing her eyes and getting painted like Roy the Clown. I don't remember. There was a clown when I was a kid named Roy. I remember. There's some kids that didn't like him. I don't remember if I was scared of clowns or not. I just remember there was a clown named Roy. And she was painted like a clown. And she got mad at Elena Black, who painted her, and they got into a fight. But then why? As the damn champ, why was she running away like a bitch? Why was she running away after she beat the crap a little bit out of Elena Black? What was the point of that? She didn't even act like, I beat you, don't you try that again, bitch. But then going like, oh, I can't stand this, I gotta go wash my face, and then run off. She just ran off. Now you could say, well, that's the reason why. She just didn't want to be seen. But I think they need a little bit more. That's a little bit of development of the character that's needed. So her just running away, not going like, this makeup, I'm going to get you for this, and then runs off. That's what I think was needed. That's just me, guys, down below. Okay. Here's the one I'm sure no one's going to care about. How do I feel about AJ Francis and Elijah going in the steel cage? Okay. If it's going to end their feud, it needs to be done. And seeing that AJ was in a music studio and Elijah saying, I'm going to come and get you because no one tries to mess with me and I'm going to get you in that steel cage and I'm going to end you. It needs to be done. They need to end this story. Is it a great story? No. I think they could have done more with Elijah and AJ Francis. Because let's make it clear. Is Elijah a good talker? He's an okay talker. Is AJ Francis a talker? He's a damn good talker. Like I said, he doesn't need expressions. He's so charismatic. He can talk his ass out of a paper bag that's been tied, that's been quartered, that's been on fire, and he comes out of it without even a scratch. That's how good of a talker he is. I believe that. So I don't believe he needs it. But this story is not one of the best I've seen. It's an okayish story trying to do it around music. And not all the time when stories made out of music works all the time. So this one is not one of the best of its story. But do I believe they'll have a decent match? Yeah, in the steel cage they probably will. Now, let's get to KC Navarro versus Eddie Edwards. Did I care about Eddie and KC? No. Now, I missed some of what was going on last week. Not some, all of it, because like I said, I did not see Impact. The match was okay. KC won, which was good. That they let him get over. He gets his ass kicked. He was about to get a steel chair wrapped around his neck until Aichner, Stone, and Sosa came back. Now, I knew the minute I saw them, because we're so close to lockdown, this is a lockdown match. I knew it. I could feel it. I knew. It was right there. It was so obvious that so many people would come out for no reason. There was no reason for Jada Stone to come out, and especially she came out with a sledgehammer. I would understand Aichner holding the sledgehammer. I would understand Ricky Sosa holding the sledgehammer. But Jada Stone, why? One reason. Lockdown. Because they're going to have her going against Alish. And exactly what we got. At least a lockdown match. This lockdown pay-per-view. There you go. I knew there had to be some group that's going to be needed. Something was going to have to happen. And we just had it right there. Do I agree with the people in that? No. But does it mean it will be a bad match? No. They let Sosa have a feud with the system. They got Aichner having a feud with the system. There's not that much with Jada. There isn't. Because as far as I know, Jada hasn't really done much. Yeah, she had a match with Alish, beat Alish, but that's it. It's not enough. But that's what they're using it. There you go. Now, let's get to what did I think about Allie and the struggle is real. I don't know. What does the struggle is real mean? It can mean a couple of things. One, that the real Rosemary, the real woman who's talked about having problems with depression, needed to take a break and has gotten the help she needed, came back, and now they're trying to do an angle with that the struggle is real. I don't think she'll go back to Courtney Love. I would be surprised if she did the Courtney Love bit. Like the Throwback Thursday, if you guys remember how they used to have it. I don't see Courtney Love coming back. But could Rosemary come back with another persona other than Rosemary or Courtney Love? Maybe. Maybe that would be good. A second one is they're going to bring someone in new. And Rosemary saying the struggle is real. Maybe. I don't know who. But it could be. You never know. Let's now get to the final match. I don't understand why he did this. I don't. Let me make this very clear. Oh, almost forgot. Did I like the Moose segment with, the face of the franchise actually rolls off the tongue. The King's speech? Nah, never liked it with Kaz. He should have called it something else. But the face of the franchise, a talk show, I'll be into it. Because the face of the franchise just rolls off the tongue and can be a show. The question is, can Moose pull off that kind of stuff? I don't know. I'm hoping that he may try it again. Because I think he could get over. Now, he came out with the scarf. He came out with the glasses. He made it clear he was going to whoop that ass. And then Kaz comes out, making it very clear it ain't about him. He's the true royalty of TNA because he was there at the very opening of the company. True. He is one of the OGs. He does deserve his respect. But is he a king? No. And then he mentions Moose's wife and kid, and that is when he got the taste knocked out of his mouth, and then we get the fight. Do I care about this? Yes. You know why? Think about Jack Perry and Moxley. Wednesday. I was disappointed that this wasn't about doing the Continental Tournament. They could have done a storyline where you got Moxley, who has won every title in the company, Jack Perry, who's won every title in the company, who have never actually faced one another one-on-one. You could have made a story out of this. And they didn't choose to do it. They just threw it out as a match. And look what you get with TNA, who's not even doing incredibly great booking here. They're doing one-on-one booking. Someone that has never met anyone in the ring, and they've been in the same company for over a decade. Each one of them, one more than 2 decades, the other one more than a decade and a half. Moose, as far as I remember, has been there 15 years. Nearly 15, or easily has passed it. And Kaz has been there for more than 20. This is what you get. You get a real story where 2 guys who legitimately never faced each other. Tag teams, yeah. But one-on-one, never. And this is how you build a real story. Mess with each other. Have something to do. Not just throw out the match because it'll be a dream match. A dream match, I'm saying it now, a real dream match is what you build of it in pro wrestling. A dream match isn't just something you just give the fans. You give them a reason to love not just the guys who go in the ring, but why they're doing it. Just having a match is not enough. You got to give them a story. And this is the reason why this feels way more better than what happened with Moxley and Jack Perry, which they both got cheated. Final match. The match that I'm like, okay, what are we really going to do when it comes to Nick? What? I don't remember if Nick has a match at Lockdown. He probably does. I don't remember. But Nick versus Jeff Hardy, which they could have done double duty, but they chose not to. Nick has never beaten Jeff. Flat out, history shows that anytime these guys have faced each other, 16 years ago, Nick, as Dolph Ziggler, was never allowed to beat Jeff. That was as simple as that when Jeff had his own title run and his own run on his own. He never was allowed to beat him. So what do we have here now? We have a match which could have been left for Lockdown. Honestly, I'm being the truth. I'm really telling the truth. I'm not saying it would have been great to see double duty for Nick and Jeff, but they could have done it. Nick and Jeff could have done the first match of the night, and then they could have done the last match. You could have had the world title as the last match, but you could have done the tag title in the beginning of the show. It wouldn't have hurt them both too badly if you let them open with the tag championships. It was a good match. It wasn't the best match I've seen from both of them, but it was a good match. In the end, Jeff lost. But now, who are they going to put up against Nick? Now, you guys can tell me because I don't know. I don't know who's up against Nick. As far as I know, they don't really have anybody right now. So either Nick is not going to wrestle on Lockdown, or he's going to have a last-minute match. Maybe next week Thursday, we're going to find out. Am I glad about that? No. But here, let's make it clear. This wasn't half bad build to Lockdown. I don't agree with absolutely everything. I don't. But I can say this, it's more story that we've been getting from WWE or AEW. And that's not taking anything away from Kenny and taking anything from Will. Not taking anything from Roman. They just did their feud with Roman and Seth. I'm not saying they're taking anything from it, but let's be honest here. The storytelling in both companies have not been good. AEW and WWE. Silver Lake. Almost forgot that part. I'm telling you the truth. All I want to see is better storytelling. You're not doing anything with Jordan Grace. That's one of the best wrestlers you have there. And she's been sitting in the back for months. And anybody says, well, didn't you hear? They just didn't have anything for her. Bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. It's not that they don't have anything, they just don't want to do it. Because the only ones they want is the ones that will push merch more. That's the way it works in WWE. Whoever can make the most merch buys is who they care about, unless they realize that person has an issue and they start switching over to somebody else. Because Jordan Grace, she can make it do. She can do it. And then you got AEW. All the women they have and all the men they have. And it's only match-based wrestling. Very little storytelling. Unless you're bringing in Kofi Kingston. Unless you're bringing in a Xavier Woods, who used to be known as Austin Creed, for a Swerve Strickland to work with. You're going to make him work with who? The Hurt Syndicate? You made that little story of the trios titles supposedly mean something with Hangman Page there, where you painted yourself into a corner. Made it so he can't go after the world title anymore. The only one he can go after is the TNT, the Continental, and the International Championship. That's it. He can't go after nothing else. So they make him have the trios title again. And now when you should have him dealing with the demand, you bring out Swerve. And now Swerve, who has nothing to do, because it's only going to be about Will, it's going to be about MJF, and it's going to be about Kenny. He's stuck doing nothing, and now you're going to have him work in the trios division instead of the tag division. What's the tag division doing? Nothing. CNC are done. They've done what they need to do to go up against the Bucks. Well, they haven't finished with the Bucks, but you know what I mean. They will be at All In, and I'm sure they're going to do something at All Out. But Swerve's got nothing to do. What? Why? But it's just me. Peace.